You got a little ways, yeah.
Evening, call to order the Town of St. John Plan Commission Study Session for November 5th, 2025. I would invite all that are able to stand for the pledge, please. The pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ms. Abernathy, can we get the roll call, please?
Justin Nestor.
Present.
Colin Enschway.
Present.
Joe Gomestagel is absent. Rudy Bambick.
Present.
Russ Vogel.
Present.
John Gill.
Present.
Ashley Abernathy present. John Dykstra.
Here.
Adam Decker.
Present.
And Bill Manasopoulos.
Here.
All right, we have quorum. Agenda item number 4, old and new business. Item A, 2025-20, the Preserve East. Mr. Slager, good evening.
Good evening, Jack Slager with Schilling Development, representing the Preserve. We've been in front of you a number of times on this project. We have now advertised for public hearing in 2 weeks. This is for the Preserve East, 34 lots on 36 acres, straight R1 zoning development on the east side of White Oak across from the Preserve. Over the last couple weeks, our engineers from DVG have been going back and forth a little bit with Robinson and getting through some punch list items, and so we're making progress there. And I think by the time we have our public hearing in 2 weeks, we should have all of the engineering issues ironed out. So I feel like we'll be ready to hold our public hearing in 2 weeks.
Okay. Anyone questions, comments?
I have talked with Public Works on this. I've talked with both fire chief and police chief on this, and no staff comments have come up. My only one had been that ADA crossing on what will be the longer road for that trail, and I think Jack
Yep.
already agreed to that
Yep.
at our last study session, so.
Okay.
We were looping that water main in there, weren't we?
All those water mains are looped. We're able to go out the cul-de-sacs, and there's actually a water line along the entire north side of the property. There's an existing water line all along White Oak. There are new water lines that were just put in to the east a year or two ago by the town, so we're tying all that stuff together. It worked out pretty nicely, actually.
Perfect.
Mr. Dykstra?
Yes, they have resubmitted to my initial comment letter. I've begun to go through that response. So far, it looks good. So I agree with Jack. This one will probably get worked out by the hearing, so.
You don't foresee any issues?
I do not.
Okay.
So far.
All right.
Yeah, I have a few more things to check, but yes.
Okay. I think we granted the request to publish last time, so you've
Yep,
got all that out.
we're all published. We've gotten the notices out in the paper and the mail and the signs up, so
Okay.
we'll be ready.
We will see you in 2 weeks.
Okay, thank you.
Item B, 2025-21, the Preserve West.
Same Jack Slager with Schilling Development representing the Preserve. This will actually be the final phase of the Preserve, original and west. This contains 42 lots on 39 acres, and we have added a new 15-acre parcel to the west of Preserve West, so that is going to require a rezone from open space to R1, RC1 PUD. But other than that, same thing, we're going through the back and forth a little bit with Robinson and DVG. They're working through the punch list items, and I think we've got everything, or will have everything resolved in the next 2 weeks.
From the town's perspective,
They're similar
same
to.
issues, or same comments?
Yep, same comments. Jack and I talked briefly about how to handle the rezone, and what we'll do is we'll just amend the existing PUD that was already approved to incorporate the 15 acres that they're incorporating in, and it'll just be a PUD amendment, and we incorporated that into their legal notice, so it is already going to all be taken care of at our November public hearing.
Similar, we received their resubmittal. I'm still reviewing through it. I've gone through some of it already and got the plat comments under review by my surveyor, so.
Okay.
I do have one thing I do have to call the surveyor about, but I'll work that out with them.
Anyone else? Questions, comments? And your notice for that one too?
Yep,
Okay.
everything's out.
We'll
see you in 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item C, 2025-23, The Grove.
Good evening, Commissioner. Ed Rectenwall, representing Old Toff Homes on this project. We are requesting rezone from open space to PUD. This project consists of 275 single-family homes on 168 acres for a density of 1.6 units per acre. We've advertised for the public hearing in 2 weeks. We believe we have all the documentation submitted for the PUD request to the town. Be happy to answer any questions, take any comments on the project.
We have talked about this one, the most recent proposal, right? Questions, comments?
I did have somebody come in today who received their legal notice and was asking, what are kind of the plans for the phasings? Are they similar to what was discussed previously, where you're going to be working from both 101st and 96 in tandem, working towards the middle? Kind of how is that phasing
We would be
gonna
working
work?
from south to north.
South to north?
Yep.
Okay.
The only other thing is, you guys are doing the Klein extension.
Correct. Klein Extension is not, well, we're doing the portion that is on our property.
Yes.
Yeah, correct.
Are we running the water main down there?
On Klein,
Yes.
we committed to full improvement, so if it requires a water main, we would put the water main in.
So Ed, if on the Klein Avenue extension portion, obviously, the rest of it is going in through NERC and everywhere else. So we might have to have a separate conversation after I get some information tomorrow, just because of some of the environmental concerns with their portion.
Okay.
To where we might have to work around it.
Okay.
Anyone else?
Is that getting connected to, because we have a dead end right there, I think, too. At 95th, I think it is. We're connecting on there too, as well.
Yeah, it'll connect into Grouse Point, if that's, is that 95th? That's 95th, yeah.
And are you doing the continuation of the main also too on 101st?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, here's kind of where Grosse Point ends. You kind of see it a little bit there on the map.
Right,
and-
that becomes a T intersection when we put Klein Avenue in, so we'll connect on that road. So that's another access point for our community.
And then they're providing a stub down here. So ultimately, there's going to be 2 entrances, and then if anything happens with that land to the east, there would then be a potential 3rd ingress egress from this subdivision.
Are we dead ending at that one coming to the property next to it, where lot 7 and 8 are?
Yeah, that's this stub right here.
That's gonna be a dead end water main sitting there?
It'd be a sub, yeah. Yes.
Can we have auto flush on that at least? Or don't tie in at least to that water main coming off of there? So if you leave it there and you tie in off of the one heading north and south, we won't get bad water right there. So if we just keep it right there, we'll be fine.
Yeah, if we get to, when and if we get to primary and we get to our full engineering, yeah, we're happy to do
Okay.
whatever's necessary to make that water main
Yeah, this would just be on the
configured correctly.
rezone.
Yeah.
To the
Yeah.
PUD at this
Yeah,
point.
I'll remember that, though.
Yeah. At least auto flush there or something.
Video to look at.
Yeah, yeah, we kind of call for those
Okay.
at any ends, yeah.
All right, and it's noticed, because you said somebody came in, so, yep.
Yep, they have submitted their newspaper proof already. They picked up their sign. The only thing that I still need, and that'll be, is them getting the green cards in. I just need a new link if they've been uploaded.
Okay,
All right,
good.
we will see you back in 2 weeks.
Great, thank you.
Item D, 2025-24, Gates of St. John, Unit 28. Mr. Kill, good evening.
Yep, good evening, everybody. Steve Kill with LBL. This is a final plat, so we have in front of you right now, I don't know if you take a look at it, but it's, like I said, it's a secondary plat, so all the improvements are going to be in. We're just going to need to plat it, so if you look at it, obviously, just south of 101st there, connects right into the Gates East, and all the improvements are going to be in, less the street lights and signage and things like that that are normal. I do have a meeting scheduled with the engineer and Ashley, if she would like to join us, that'd be fine, if you've ever been on a
When?
walkthrough. On the 11th at, I believe, 10 a.m.?
For a walkthrough?
Yes. Actually, hold on, Ashley, it's a week from today.
Oh, so it'd be the 12th.
It's the 12th, I'm sorry, yes.
Okay.
To do a walkthrough and establish all the bonds and amounts and everything that's going to be required. So this doesn't require, obviously, any publication or anything because it's a secondary plat.
All right. Questions, comments?
None at this time. I'm gonna just verify, make sure all the addresses line up with kind of what was already looked at and already approved. I'll get to you any comments and then waiting on engineering, feedback.
Is this one coming back in 2 weeks, or?
They're
What's-
gonna
what's your
try and
timeline?
seek final plan in
It's
2 weeks.
going to be back in 2 weeks, yes, and that's why we're meeting the engineer next week.
Okay.
Justin, just to make sure, he can do his walkthrough and then give me the bond amounts, and I can have to order bonds and go through that process, so.
Sounds good. Item E, 2025-18, Gates of St. John, Unit 7A, Lot 888.
Yes, I'm not exactly sure what kind of questions could be on this. It's primary, we're just gonna go for secondary. It's just 2 lots. And all the improvements are in, all the necessary, every fee has been paid. So we just have to simply just go for secondary, that's all. And I will have the Mylars delivered to Ashley by Friday. Or maybe next week. There's probably no hurry on that.
Seems straightforward. Any questions? I'm just throwing it out there. All right, we'll see you back in 2 weeks on that one. Item F, Dancing Waters.
I'm going to go ahead and start this out. Mr. Myers is here as well, and his wife and his daughter, so I don't know if you guys know Dennis Myers. He is the developer and the builder in Dancing Waters. So, and the only reason I'm here is that I was going to be here anyway, and I told Denny, I said, let me go ahead and start this off, so everybody kind of has a little bit of background here. This is the area that is up north, just north of Bingo Lake Road, on the east side of 41. I'm sure everybody's familiar with Golden Pond and that area. Just south of that, behind the commercial development there, the car wash, those scooters,
The young.
the old speedway, everything's right back behind that. So if anybody's ever been back there, you know that it's an extremely nice area. And they build their own units, they have from the beginning. And so what you're gonna see on your screen right now is, there you go, is where it ends right now, there's a dead end. So what Dennis would like to do is he'd like to go ahead and finish that cul-de-sac out, which was always in the master plan when this was started 15 years ago? 10? It's been going on for a while, and he's right at the very end of it. So, and it's nice, it's gonna be nice to have a cul-de-sac put in, so everybody can turn around and there's no dead end, you eliminate all that. All the utilities are in, everything's in, except for that cul-de-sac. So when this was master planned, there was never the requirement in town of the setback from the easements and stuff like that. We do have that now. So really the purpose of coming in front of you is just to see how the Plan Commission would react to a waiver of setback. Because if you look at where the units are at, and if you look at the edge of water, each one of these units is about $600,000 a side. So he's got 1.2 million, and the people that buy these units, they all come with a nice patio in the back, very well landscaped. And if you've seen the units built back there, you know what they look like. It would be a continuation of that type unit. So the price point is very high on this, and the people, when you build the pads on the back, the patios, there needs to be a little bit of room in you don't need a lot. I mean, the clientele here is not families. But you still need some room, they expect that. when they pay this much money for something, and quite honestly, it doesn't look right if you don't. So, as you can see with the drawing, we're able to get 30 foot from the pipeline, but not the 50 that has come before you previously. The unit in the upper left, that backs up to the speedway. You simply can't push these nice homes against that speedway. I'm not sure that it would even be marketable to do that. The people that are going to come in here are not going to want, they're simply not going to want it. And that's a difficult situation. I know over the years we tried to deal with that, get it cleaned up and everything, but the fact of the matter is, it's there, and it is what it is. So you go to the south there, you can see on your drawing, you can see where the edge of the water is at. So by the time you put a pad on the back of that, your patio, and you landscape it, and you have a little bit of room to the water, this is where he's tried to lay this out 100 different ways now. And this is the way that it lays out to where it actually can be built correctly, is the best way to say it. So we just need to get some feedback from the Plan Commission, so Denny knows which way to go here and how this can be accomplished.
So the ask for the waiver has to deal with the pipeline easement, right?
That's really the only obstacle that exists here. And then, obviously, there needs to be a primary, you have to go through the subdivision process and everything like that, but there's no reason to do that unless we had to come to a study session to see, the feelings on the waivers of that. And that was never a requirement when this was initially laid out. So, ordinances change, requirements change. That's why we had to come back to the Plan Commission, because that's a requirement now. And it was not when this project started.
Anyone, questions, comments?
Do we know for sure that that's exactly where it sits?
Yes, as part
We do.
of the project of them, that's kind of why you can see a proposed easement, because they actually identified where the gas line sits, centering, they're gonna propose to actually more center that easement, and then identifying where that is, and then proposing that 30 from that edge of pipeline.
And the clientele here, you notice that that easement is not in the backyard where, and I think the thought process behind it was, hey, you're in the rear yard, kids are playing back there. The people that buy these units typically are all empty nesters. I don't know, that is accurate, right, Denny? So they're all empty nesters. That's his clientele. They're not playing in the driveway. They're going to be sitting on their back patio. So, and as you can see, it's just a little bit different. You don't have kids running around. You don't have any of that. You're in more of a commercial area anyway, where you have commercial, to the west of you and all the way down the line. And then the railroad embankment obviously is to the east. Bingo Lake is to the south.
So
It's kind of a unique situation here.
So the waiver that you're trying to get is to have it at the 30-foot, which is dimensioned. The 50-foot easement is the dashed line that's to the south of it, correct?
Well, yes, you can
Yeah.
see where the easement's at, so the request would be a 30-foot setback from the actual physical pipeline. Mm-hmm. That's the request.
Right, rather than so 20 feet less. Now, I understand with the layout and everything, is there a reason that proposed duplex couldn't be rotated and then shifted slightly northeast to meet that easement?
You still have it over here, though, too.
Shifted
Well,
north.
I'm just solving one problem at a time.
Well, no, I mean, and again, in anticipation of that question,
Because I just see
Denny
like,
has spent an enormous time with the engineer and the surveyor on this, probably in the this 3 months has gone by until we came here with this.
They did
The
have-
farther you shift that over, the closer you get to the edge of the water.
Sure.
So you lose any, the way it's laid out now is where, when you put the patio on the back of the home, the only other choice would be to put patios on the sides of the home, which I don't know that that is the look that anybody would want. I mean, you can't really, everybody would like to sit by the water in the back. That gives you at least about 10 feet, 15 foot to the edge of the water there.
Yeah.
That's why they're where they're at, just so you know. And, and he's laid these out 100 different ways, and he's tried it all. And that's why we're here with this request, because, and like I said, given the clientele, given that it's in the front, obviously, he's building a cul-de-sac, putting pavement on top of everything. He's got a lot of pipeline, you know, to work with the pipeline company, obviously, that will have to be done and things like that, but you really can't move forward with the expense that's gonna be required to do this and to finish the project without some feedback from the plan commission, you know, that would be hopefully in the affirmative, so.
I just feel that, you know, I know a lot of guys in the pipeline industry, their blast radius is 25 feet. And that's what I think our ordinance was back.
That is correct. When this was laid out, this would have not been a problem, when this was laid out. The rules changed, so you have to come back, and that's understood, but when this was originally laid out 10 years ago, or longer when it was laid out, when we did the original one.
I've been talking to him about this cul-de-sac for 3 years.
13 for me. But it'd be nice, and the whole point is, you have one cul-de-sac left, finish the project, get rid of the dead ends, allow everybody to turn around, the snow plows and everybody, and he would love to do that, so.
So essentially, when they presented this one, this is their second or third one I've seen. So they have been working on trying to figure out how to best kind of situate the items on here. Initially, it was going to have to be, it has to be 50 feet from the edge of the easement, which would then mean nothing could be on here. So what they would then be seeking with the waiver was similar to kind of what we granted for Castle Rock, which is instead of the 50 foot from the edge of the easement line, it'd be that distance from the pipeline. In this case, they are searching for the 30. And I can say I have heard similar things to Russ. I've actually seen paperwork and documents where they are okay with like a 25 to 30 foot buffer.
And he develops the property, he builds the units. I'm pretty sure Renee sells them. His daughter sells them. It is a truly family operation, and it's been that way since the inception of Golden Pond and Dancing Water, so he's responsible for everything. So there won't be any third parties in.
I'm just going to point out, because this is my expertise, Bingo Lake does have a floodplain, and it would go through two of these buildings as drawn. Ashley can call it up on the aerial photo. There you go.
Our ordinance does allow for houses to be built in there, just provided that all mechanics and everything has to be built a minimum of 2 feet above the BFE, and then they would have to obtain floodplain insurance.
Denny knows that, though. He is more well acquainted with this property than all of us put together, so he
We had looked
understands.
at that
Yeah.
when something was looking at the front commercial area. I think it was a car wash at one time.
Yes, that's correct, yeah. The car wash was looking at the corner there, and so was Barry Levin. Levin Tire was looking at it. Again, everybody's looked at it, but yes, he is well aware of the floodplain issue there.
Questions, comments, anything else?
They're just, like he said, they're kind of more seeking what the feedback from the commission is going to be on if they would be feasible to a 30-foot, a partial waiver to grant them a 30-foot blast radius from the edge of the pipeline versus a 50-foot before they move forward with any further portion of this project. So it would be a plan commission decision on if that waiver would be granted.
Yeah, it's just a study session. We're more looking for a no objection, and we're obviously not asking for a vote. That a formal waiver would be requested at the time of primary plat, but
You don't want to get to that point. and-
we can't get to primary plat and then everybody just say no, and he's got $200,000 worth of engineering done or more. It's just, we're not asking for a vote, we're just here to see if there are objections, or if everything, okay, guys, engineer it and get it to work.
I don't see a problem with it.
I mean, subject to being able to satisfy the pipeline people and, the engineers and anybody else who would be willing to sign off on it. I don't know that it's problematic as far as I see it.
That's the best, like I said, we're not asking for a vote or anything, just, I think since he can hear it, he can move forward if there's no objection, so.
I'm not offended by the concept. How's that?
He's not offended by the concept.
It was a conceptual presentation. I'm not offended by the concept.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Much appreciated.
Item G, 2025-22, Unified Development Ordinance.
I have received some feedback from our legal, kind of regarding some formatting, a couple comments, language that needed to be kind of updated. I've gone through and made those changes recommended by him with the formatting throughout, updated the changes in chapter 1 and 2. And then there was a request from Public Works to, let me find it. Went a little too far. To update our lighting to LED instead of what we currently have, so I changed it to be an LED. I do need to check with them on what wattage they would prefer. I do intend of trying to have it down to 1. That way it's 1 versus 2 options with the kind of common name and what their Kelvin scale is. And then the other was, let me get back up here.
Did you do the setbacks for the trees?
Yes, I did your setbacks for the trees. Instead of specifying our own street design requirements, just adopting NDOT standards as they get amended from time to time, because they update their standard specifications every 2 years. So just doing that, and then going from a 2 and a 1.5, 2-inch base and a 1.5-inch top, doing a 2.5 inches of binder and 2-inch top coat for asphalt, and then making sure all streets have a 3% cross slope. So those were just some feedbacks that I received from Public Works, making those changes. I did get one response on the online form at this point in time with some questions and comments about the sizes listed in the zoning classification for the residential. I just do want to say again, if the Plan Commission wants them altered or changed, I'm willing to work on it. Right now, what's just in here is just what is current best practices across the board, stuff that's posted by the American Planning Association, stuff that's been posted with various sources such as Urban Design, other places like that. But if they want to see them larger, I'm willing to do that. But there is also concern about the density that it could provide. So I did want to do a spatial analysis of the town just so I can give that information to the town. And essentially what it is I did a GIS analysis of the lots, the buildings, and the subdivisions in the town, took all the number of lots, the units, and all that, and essentially the town is at a 1.13 units per acre of density. That is the entire density of the town, as it sits. We only have 10.16% of the town covered by building, and approximately 21.16% of it is impervious. Current best practices across the board are for low density, you're between 0 to 3. Middle density is 3.1 to 6, and high density is anything over 6. to kind of help that concern with the changes in proposed, what I can propose is, so for like the estate residential, no higher density than a 2.0. No, for the suburban residential, no higher density than a 4.0. For the general residential, I'd say probably a 7.0 or a 8.0, because that's the one that is our R3 today, which allows for townhomes, duplexes, and all of those. If the plan commission is not too comfortable with that number, we can break it back down to between like a 6 or a 7, whatever the plan commission is comfortable with. And then I'll have this available to everyone. I'll get it to everyone so everybody can see it. But I'm just kind of more looking for feedback tonight, things that I need to alter, change, what have you, looking at when the plan commission would like to see this going for public hearing. Would you be comfortable with the December public hearing, or do we want to wait until 2026? Just kind of feedback at this point in time.
I can personally, this is just for me, I would say I would love to wait till 2026, just so that way we can give it as much of a good look as possible, and to make sure we have enough time to go through it and give it the amount of attention it deserves, quite frankly. Because it's, you've done a lot of great work here, and I want to make sure that we give it the due attention it deserves.
I've only looked through 3 pages. I've been busy,
Yeah,
all
that's
right?
the other thing too. I've only been able to read a little bit of it. The parts that I've read, I've liked.
I carry it with me.
Yeah.
It's here.
Hey, I have mine too.
Yeah,
I read it more like a lawyer though, so I have to rely on people who have an engineering background and, you know, public works and things like that, because I read it differently than others, but.
Well, it's also, what does the plan commission kind of want to see? Because, like I said, this is working on updating something that was last done in 2009 for a major update. Subdivision control ordinance had some minor updates in 2020. It did undergo a revision. It just never got adopted. So it's just trying to update, unify everything, and make it easier for everyone.
I think from my perspective, a good place to a piece of feedback that I have, which I think that we've already started to incorporate, is integrating the intent of the comprehensive master plan into the unified ordinance, so that it actually has some teeth, I suppose, when we are trying to make our decisions on things like PUDs and other developments that happen within the town. Because at this time, we could say like, oh, the comprehensive master plan says this, but unless that's somehow been put into an ordinance, there's nothing really that we can, there's not much that can be done about that. Does that make sense?
No, I follow what you're saying, and I did absolutely, comprehensive plan, the Parks Master
Yeah,
Plan,
I can tell that.
Thoroughfare Plan, were all looked at and reviewed.
I assume so. I just wanted to more say it out loud than anything else. So, but thank you.
Any other thoughts or feedback at this time? Is there any thoughts or comments on the proposed maximum density per residential zoning district?
I think I want to think about that a little more, but I like that there is some guidance there though too, to, as far as the different zoning classifications, just so, like the Colin said, spoke to, and we have something to base it on when applicants are coming before us, and, this many lots per acre, and we can kind of use that to benchmark against.
So maybe we're looking at having some comments by next month's meeting. Touching base then.
Yep. So then I'll have this back in front of you then on our December meeting. I believe it's December 3rd. And if you guys have any feedback or comments before then, absolutely get it to me. I'll make those changes in the document before I send it back out. But I will send it back out. I will get this updated. Again, this one's more formatting and some technical language from the legal. So most of it, the meat from what's online hasn't changed. But really looking forward to getting comments from everybody.
Great.
I'm glad you got somebody from the public who had reached out though too, because I saw
Yeah,
that
that's awesome.
that it was put out, so.
That's great.
Would want to give another opportunity for anybody to, from the public to chime in before we actually have the hearing on it.
I've been trying to tell everybody who's been asking about it, go look at the website. We swear it's there.
Yeah.
I mean, we want to be transparent.
And then I can happily report that the clerk treasurer was absolutely wonderful and posted in this month's newsletter for me as well.
Yes.
So it is also in the town's newsletter for November.
Good.
One quick announcement before we get to adjournment. I have worked together to create a building and planning open house that will be December 9th at the community center from 5:30 p.m. to 7 p.m. It is going to be open to all the residents of the town. Please come over. It'll be myself and John. We are going to be there to answer any and all questions related to building and planning and kind of how and why things happen, what gets approved, why it gets approved, what we can and can't do, things like that. A lot of questions that people have,
Yeah.
especially like why did we approve that subdivision when there were so many people against it, or why are we sending this type of recommendation to the town council? Just something to help give that type of information to people who might not otherwise come to a plan commission meeting, might not have the time to go on YouTube, but just something that's going to be available to the public. Again, 5:30 to 7 p.m. at the community center, December 9th. I will have a flyer put together, but if you know anybody who kind of wants to have more information, please tell them they are welcome to attend.
Oh, I know quite a few people.
Yeah. I nominate John for the dunk tank first, too.
Yeah.
Thank you. Appreciate all
Yeah, thank you so
all of
much.
that. If there's no other comments, item 5, adjournment.
I will make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Emschway. There's 2 seconds. All in favor? Aye.